Okay, I kind of understand that the unique combos on these are slow because they're strong, right? But honestly... Are you taking the piss? But anyway, hello everybody, welcome to another Warframe video, and today we're gonna take a quick look at the last Archon weapon on the list, and it's gonna be the Korumm. You get the blueprint for it the same way you get it for all the other Archon weapons, by doing bounties in Cetus if it's day in the plains of Eidolon, or Fortuna if it's night. Now to build this one, you're of course gonna need the blueprint, but then you're gonna need 16 armor isoplast, which you also get from the armor bounties, 6 radiant zodian, which you get from mining, 60 copperite alloy, which you get from mining too, and finally 3200 rubido. The Korumm is a mastery rank 13 polearm that does 260 damage per hit, and out of that 104 is slash, 104 is puncture, and 52 is impact. It has solid enough attack speed of 1, a good crit chance at 24%, and above average 2.2 times crit multiplier, and awesome 30% status. But that's not all, because as you already saw in the beginning, it also comes with a unique mechanic, or in this case a unique block combo. This combo has two parts to it. The first part stabs the polearm into the ground, and the second one violently pulls it out. Now this combo is a bit weird. The first part doesn't do an awful lot. It does a decent amount of damage, but has basically no AoE. You have to hit the enemy directly. And the second part seems to mostly proc impact. It actually seems to be guaranteed if the enemies are hit by the 11-meter shockwave, but every now and then it will also proc electricity that will start chaining around. Now it also ragdolls all the enemies hit by the shockwave, and it should have a guaranteed slash proc, but from experience it only procs it every now and then. Oh yeah, and it's also really slow. The animation without any attack speed takes 3 seconds. Now after faffing around with the Korumm for a little bit, this is the build that I ended up using, and it's kind of like a modified hybrid setup. So we have Blood Rush, Organ Chatter, and Weeping Wounds for hybrid scaling, then we have Boreal's Contempt for generic damage and status damage, Berserker Fury for attack speed, and then a combination of 3 mods to kind of balance out the damage types and get some extra status. So I have Carnis Mandible, which boosts slash way above puncture, otherwise you're gonna proc slash and puncture about equally, which is not great. Though you could of course use Buskill here as well if you don't mind losing a little bit of status, which is not that big of a deal since we do have Weeping Wounds. And then I have a fully ranked Virulent Scourge and an unranked Vicious Frost, and this makes it so that we have more vital than puncture, but we don't go beyond slash. Oh yeah, and I should also mention that this setup requires you to run the Naramon Focus School, so your combo doesn't decay all at once. It's also not set in stone. You can play around with different setups. If you want to run a primer weapon, you don't have to run Viral at all, but this is just the one that I ended up liking the most. Now the performance here is actually pretty good because the Korumm is a solid polearm. It has good crit multi, and good status with solid enough damage. But I'm really not a big fan of the unique mechanic, in this case the unique block combo, because while yes you can kind of move once you engage in the animation, it's a bit finicky and it just doesn't play well with the playstyle of polearms, which is generally very nimble. They have some of the best attacks in the game. Honestly, this weapon was a bit of a disappointment to me. It's not a terrible weapon by any means. You can still use it in Steel Path and it's gonna do just fine. It's just that the other two weapons were really fun and good, so I kind of expected this one to be really fun and good as well. I feel like I would have liked this weapon more if I didn't know how good the other two weapons are, so if I reviewed it first or maybe second, but definitely not last. So all in all, on its own, it's a pretty solid polearm, but when compared to the other Archon weapons, it is definitely the worst one. And that is pretty much all I wanted to say, so I thank you very much for watching as always guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.